How did Arne Slot's Liverpool completely shut down Arsenal? It was a masterclass in control, defensive organisation and discipline. Arne Slot's side gave us one of the clearest examples of how he wants Liverpool to compete at the very top. And while the headlines will point to Szoboszlai's stunning free kick, what really defined this night was the way Liverpool shut down Arsenal's attacking structure, solved their press and showed the kind of resilience that wins big matches. In this video, we're going to break down how Liverpool not only scored the decisive goal,
Szoboszlai's hit! Oh yes! It is something very, very special!
but controlled Arsenal with compactness, discipline and tactical intelligence. Welcome back to Football Manager Insider. Both sides set up in their strongest shapes. Liverpool lined up in a 4-2-3-1 with Gravenberch and McAllister, back from his absence, held the double pivot. Salah and Gakpo on the flanks and Ekitike leading the line. Arsenal responded with their usual trusted 4-3-3. Zubimendi anchored the midfield with Rice and Mikel Merino either side, while Martinelli and Madueke, deputising for Saka, provided that width to support Victor Gyökeres up top. Right from the kickoff, Arsenal showed their intent. They pressed high out of possession, trying to pin Liverpool into their own half. Gyökeres and Moreno set on Liverpool's centre-backs, forcing Alisson to play under pressure. The idea was clear: lock Liverpool in, win the ball in advanced areas, and turn the game into a siege. But Liverpool had a solution. Ryan Gravenberch dropped deep as an extra option in the first line of build-up. This turned Arsenal's 2v2 pressing trap into a 3-2 overload for Liverpool, with Van Dijk and Konate splitting wide, and suddenly Arsenal's pressing duo couldn't cover every angle. A simple but crucial adjustment that stopped the press from suffocating Liverpool completely. Of course, Arsenal still had their moments. Twice, their press had boxed Liverpool in so effectively that Alisson had no choice but to go long. These sequences showed how relentless Arsenal were in the press, but also how Liverpool balanced the risk, knowing that they couldn't play short every time. Without the ball, Liverpool shifted into a mid-block 4-3-3. Their midfield three stayed incredibly tight, cutting off central access. For Arsenal, that meant no easy passing lanes into Rice or Zubimendi through the middle. The trap was obvious. Funnel played wide, then collapsed with pressure. Slot's men were happy to concede territory on the flanks so long as Arsenal couldn't progress through the heart. When Arsenal switched to a 4-4-2 pressing shape, Liverpool doubled down on their build-up structure. Gravenberch again dropped alongside McAllister, forming a 3-2 base with Konate and Van Dijk splitting. That five-player line gave Liverpool passing angles that Arsenal front two simply couldn't close. It wasn't flashy, but it dismantled the shape Arsenal were trying to impose. Slot also used Hugo Ekitike as a direct outlet. Alisson and Van Dijk looked long into him, trying to bypass Arsenal's press. Arsenal's centre-backs defended him tightly, often preventing him from turning, but the intent was obvious. Liverpool weren't afraid to go long if it relieved pressure. One of the most underrated details of the night was Liverpool's approach to defending set pieces. Instead of the aggressive high line they've sometimes used, they dropped deeper. That compact line eliminated the risk of runners breaking onside. It meant that they could stay touch-tight to markers, reducing chaos in the box and neutralising Arsenal's aerial threat. When Arsenal bypassed the initial press, Liverpool pressed in a 4-3-3. The key detail? Florian Wirtz tracked Martin Zubimendi, Arsenal's deep line pivot. Zubimendi usually dictates Arsenal's rhythm, but with Wirtz constantly shadowing him, Arsenal couldn't get their playmaker on the ball. It forced them to circulate possession wider, exactly where Liverpool wanted him. By the 80th minute, Liverpool actually pressed sharper than in the first half. Van Dijk had fizzed the ball into Curtis-Jones, breaking Arsenal's midfield line before Jones was fouled. It was a signal. Liverpool weren't just holding out, they were still brave enough to pass through lines under pressure. Then came the decisive moment. A free kick from 25 to 30 yards out, central position. Arsenal set a three-man wall and David Raya had positioned himself slightly too far to his left. Szoboszlai spotted a gap. He struck the ball with whip and dip, bending it through the inside post space Raya had left exposed. A strike of pure quality. After the goal, Liverpool dropped into a 4-5-1 deep block. 5 midfielders screened the back four, denying Arsenal any room between the lines. Crosses were repelled, second balls thoughtful, and Arsenal simply ran out of ideas. It was a definition of defensive control. This game wasn't just about Szoboszlai's wonder strike. It was a defensive tactical masterclass from Liverpool. Every detail mattered. Gravenberch dropping into the first line, Vert shadowing Zubimendi, the deeper line on set pieces. These are the moments that show how Arne Slot is shaping Liverpool into a side that can win big games, not only with the ball, but without it. Now, before we end the video, I want to say a massive thank you to everyone who supported this channel. My goal is to reach 5,000 subscribers, and I'm really grateful for all of you who've already joined me. I'll be dropping weekly breakdowns of the biggest games in the Premier League and Champions League. So if you enjoyed this tactical deep dive, please subscribe, like the video, and join me for the next one. Until next time, stay sharp, stay tactical.